Welcome everybody, it's your boy Dave, and we're back on the YouTube channel to post videos for the first time in way too long. So yeah, channel, I kind of died for a bit. I'm gonna try to get back into some things. If I don't, then I apologize. It's just rough to record in stream, and then when I was doing both, I kind of killed myself into not wanting to do either. So it kind of led to me dying for a few months, a couple months, I don't know how long. I feel like it's not been month is it? It's the end of November. I think it's been since September, the end of September-ish. And I've streamed a couple times, so it's not been like completely absent. But yeah. So just here to check in for a bit before I do want to post a directed mode on some me playing the directed mode for the Easter eggs on both zombies maps that are currently out. And yeah, I'm playing a whole bunch of COD right now. BO6, Warzone, stuff like that, because it's fun. I might stream it a little bit, I might not stream it at all, but this is a lot of the game that I'm playing on my own free time. I might go back to the games that I was playing before, I might restart my stream, just become a streaming channel. I do plan on doing some little fun stuff that I'm like, oh, this will be fun, because but I want to put together projects where I can put in time to focus on like a little thing. Like if I put together like a review of something, like if I made like a whole slideshow to review a thing, I would want to make the videos more to because I would already have made the thing to make the videos on. I plan on doing some little games with my friends. If that works out, it might be rough to talk them into it, but we'll see. And then yeah, that's kind of that. Uh, so this video is gonna be an update for me on just the YouTube channel in general, and is just the main purpose is going to be a review of Call of Duty at its current right now, right this date, November 20th, 2024. And to do that, it'll be over some zombies gameplay. I do like the zombies a lot, and I am zombie grinding camos. If anybody watches this and is like, hey, I'd watch you stream the zombie camo grind, drop a comment and I might do that straight away. But for now, I'm just going to grind the zombies camos. I'm pretty far of the way in. From the launchers to the shotguns, I have everything gold, mystic gold, and I have everything opal besides the marksman rifles. And then I have nothing on the SMGs and ARs, which I'm working on now. Which, yeah, that's kind of that. I have this one already up to 1500. It's going to be napalm and hipfire, so just in case we get that far. I don't know if we'll get that far, because I feel like I probably won't be there for a while. But yeah, just going to play on Liberty Falls and just play it up. Um, I guess I will start with the channel. Again, for a while, I was actually having a really good time playing games. I played Inside. I started Limbo. I was playing Black Myth Wukong. I was gonna start playing Resident Evil, but I didn't get there. So I guess you guys probably didn't really know that. I was having a relatively good time on the channel, and I was posting a lot of clips and shorts from funny moments from streams and from the videos, or from big wins and stuff in the videos. And my channel was actually growing very well. And shorts are really good because they are really easy views, so they kind of don't count for a lot. But when they're easy views like that, and they actually do get you a few subscribers a day and stuff like that, it builds your ego. It builds up the ego that you need to actually not like absolutely despise posting like the regular videos. Because like if you post a video of like me playing Black Myth Wukong, if I have a good video where I make a lot of funny jokes, I beat a couple bosses, and it's a really fun time, it's very demoralizing when the video does like, oh, it gets 10 views. And I'm like, and I'm not saying I deserve more than 10 views, because I don't put a lot of high quality into my stuff. And I'm not the greatest gamer in the world. And the reason I be playing it is because I'm a big fan of of content, of just in general. I like when there's a lot of content in existence. So I think I'd like the ability to fill in for a small niche of people, an average gamer to slightly above average sometimes, depending on the game. Just like fill that niche of somebody who's just playing games. So I was playing Black Myth Wukong, and those are the type of games I'm not super good in because I don't have a lot. and I was doing decent, and then I'd get like probably 5 to 30 views each video, which isn't a ton. Like I have multiple Minecraft videos on my channel that have thousands of views. Not, I guess I wouldn't say thousands, but like all of them combined, and it's not a ton of them have thousands. And then I was posting shorts, and the shorts would get the views and get me the likes and get me the subscribers, that it would fill the need for like, oh, I feel like I'm actually growing the channel. So I could just play the videos, so I could build up a content of just to build up a library of content. Hey, that's the stick drift that doesn't exist. See how there's zero stick drift? Randomly, my controller will stick drift, and I don't know if that's like a common type of stick drift. That just got me off where I was talking, but yeah, stuff like that. And then I just got burned out of having to spend an hour every night posting shorts and spending like 4 or 5 hours a week in a recording session just playing a game. And I was streaming too, which I think didn't help because I wasn't having the greatest time streaming. But it was fine, and I was actually going pretty well, and I was doing pretty well. And I do have plans to continue back at it. I don't know how long for, because eventually, if the channel doesn't grow enough, I either will have to scrap the channel and try something else, or I will just have to pivot into something else on the channel and it'll change, or I'll just have to give up eventually altogether. I know that's like thinking half glass empty, but it's like a realistic thing. I'm trying to become a YouTuber, a gaming YouTuber, with very little like talents in video games and like editing skills. For the life of me, talking and shooting that one zombie was not working out. But yeah, there's all that was happening, and I'm chilling. Like, a lot of it is laziness, not wanting to record, because recording it's a lot more draining than I feel like people give it. Like, people, like, I know it's memes when streamers are like, oh, streaming's the hardest job. It's not. Streaming's not really all that hard. I'm not going to cap with you. But I will say recording, pretty rough. Just sitting down, because, like, streaming, if you stream for a little bit, getting a few viewers here or there, it's not that hard. It took me, like, I think in my first stream ever, I got a viewer who still sticks around in mine and my buddy's streams all the time. Literally, like, daily, if we streamed. And it's just easy, and it's easy to get in a rhythm of just talking to people. Just like if there's a person there typing in chat, if you're playing a game and you look over and talk to that person in chat, it's like it's nowhere near as difficult. But recording-wise, you're kind of just sitting there and you got to make up your own jokes. If you're playing a video game, usually I feel like a lot of people play video games in silence. So you got to also think about the fact that you got to be making jokes, you got to be talking, you got to react to stuff. There's the controller drift. Like, I don't know why it exists, because, like, the second I do that, it doesn't exist anymore. It's just recording's just rough, because I feel like a lot of the time with recording, I'm just sitting alone doing nothing, and I kind of just want to play games, which is rough, which is not the easiest. But I understand why it's still it's not. I still wouldn't say it's like super difficult. It just can be kind of draining, especially for me, who's not a very social person. But I do plan on trying to do a lot of that. So I will try to make. I do want to try to make content with like just like more projecty. So like if again, like I was saying earlier, if I have to make something or plan it out, make a script, make like a little game, like do something before the video like releases, it makes it the extra steps it takes to do all of that, I think puts in enough time and motivation for me to actually want and to just, you know, make the video. So I plan on doing a little bit of project there. I probably will go back to just playing games as well. I don't know how many of the games are just going to go on the channel. I know I'm probably going to stream a lot more games than I'm going to play on the channel. It is what it is. I mean, I don't really know what I want to do per se. I might make a new channel altogether and do all of this stuff. I might post straight to one channel. I don't know what I want to do for now. But yeah, there's that. So the plans aren't looking like super bright for the future of the channel right now, but it is what it is. We can all be helpful. Unless I just get like zero support and everybody's like, it's fine if you never record again and be like, yeah, cool, okay, understandable. Have a nice day. But yeah, so now that I've talked about me, pretty rambly, because I rambled, I think it is time for me to review this video game. And Call of Duty, or not this video game, particularly not Black Ops 6, this is more of a Call of Duty right now. So it's Black Ops 6 and Warzone pretty much, because I ain't touching Modern Warfare 2 or 3 after the absolute horrors that game has put me through over the last couple of years. But I'm a big COD dude, big FPS dude, played a ton of Call of Duty throughout my life, played a lot of Apex Legends, Warzone, FPSs like that. I wasn't ever a huge Fortnite guy. I was big on Rainbow for a little while back in the day, back before Rainbow absolutely died. So yeah, the thing about COD currently that I'm looking at is it's looking up. They need to fix a few things, and it's not perfect, but I think it's way closer. BO6 in Warzone and all of that is way closer to Call of Duty Cold War. I think I would say Caldera levels of the game
Hands off to me, and heads off to you.
than it is like not Al Mazrah, because Al Mazrah Warzone 2 was a fucking drop off. It's one of the worst first person shooters I've ever played. And I will say MW3 wasn't a ton better, because their balancing was relatively atrocious and they were just not great all around. But it was still better than Al Mazrah. I'll say that. And yeah, it was just not great. And they did some stuff with Ranked, Rebirth, and all that, bringing that back. And I think they're planning on bringing back Verdansk at some point, or at least that's a rumor I've heard by like a lot of different sources at a lot of different times. And they're gonna make a new Warzone map sometime soon. And all of this stuff is understandable. And I know they just dropped Area 99 in Warzone, which is actually a pretty good. I would say it's probably the second best Resurgence map that I've played on. But there's all this stuff happening, and it's all a bunch of new updates, and I feel like the player base isn't as high, because I think Modern Warfare 3 and all that was the last straw for a lot of people. They were like, we gave you I think 3 years in a row of a chance to improve off of a bad game, and you didn't. Because it went Modern Warfare 2019, which has its issues, but was still a good game, and Warzone itself originally was really good. And then they went Cold War, and Cold War Warzone, I would argue, was better than Modern Warfare Warzone. In Cold War as a game, depending on who you are, I think you would has a good argument of being better than Modern Warfare 2019. I think a lot of people would say Modern Warfare 2019 was a better multiplayer, and I think I could agree. I think Black Ops was more my style, so I was more of a Cold War dude. But if you said Modern Warfare 2019 had a better multiplayer than Black Ops Cold War, I wouldn't really say you're wrong. I would just say it's not my preference. But the thing I would say is it's hard to say Modern Warfare 2019 is better than Cold War, because Cold War had one of the better zombies we've had in years. Because I know Cold War Zombies gets a lot of flack for like introducing the new version of zombies. I think that's the first one with Outlast mode in it. And then they made Vanguard Zombies was pretty much like, it wasn't Outlast mode, but it was kind of something different, and for some stupid reason these idiots thought, hey, we should change the round-based thing of zombies, which is one of the most iconic and popular things in gaming history. But yeah, they changed all that, and then Cold War had a good zombies, because Die Maschine, Firebase, they're two good maps. Die Maschine is a really good starter, easy map, and Firebase is a good little upgrade to that. I would say Berlin, which is what was it called, Mauer der Toten, is still a good map. It's hard, and its Easter egg is difficult, and it has an issue with a boss spawny type, boss spam, but it's still good. And then Forsaken is pretty rough. I'm not gonna lie, it's not the greatest, but it's at least something. It's at least a map, an extra map. So it was a decent zombies experience, lacking in amount of content, I will say. That's its biggest problem, is the lacking in amount of content. But other than that, still a good game. And then you got that, and Warzone's good at that time. And then Warzone is bad in Vanguard. Vanguard, awful game, horrendous. One of the worst, if not the worst, Call of Duty game in the history of Call of Duty. And then they add Modern Warfare 2, which is bad for its own reasons, but in my head, it's at least such a different... It's unique. In my head, it is the most unique Call of Duty we've had in a long time. It's so different from the others that it being bad, like, didn't really anger me as much. Because it's just, like, the way the game played and the way that they tried to just go full into the realistic recoils and all that stuff, it made it wasn't good, like, by any means. It, like, ruined... It had one of the worst, like... It created such a skill gap in the like, just, community as a whole that it was kind of rough. Because, like, it was the first game where... I wouldn't say it's the first game, but it was probably the biggest game where just not playing the game daily just made you about 50 times worse than everybody else who played the game. So that's one thing. But then in Warzone 2 came out with Modern Warfare 2, and Warzone 2 is probably the worst thing Call of Duty has ever done. And then Modern Warfare 3 came out, and I think it was a big step up from Modern Warfare 2 and Vanguard, but it's still not a good game. It still has too many sweats, too many toxic people, too many not good things about it. And then you move to Warzone, where they revamped it back to regular Warzone, and they brought out Urzikstan, and it was fine, I guess. Urzikstan, if you had to look at the maps, I would say Urzikstan is between Caldera and Al Mazrah, but it's way closer to Caldera than it is Al Mazrah, because Al Mazrah is so awful, and Urzikstan not good. It's the building layouts are awful. The city part of the map is horrendous. It's like you took downtown, which was already camper central, and then made it a third of the map and made the buildings even worse. And I think that's why they muted nerf snipers. But, like, I'm pretty sure they nerfed snipers during Al Mazrah, during Warzone 2 first. So that kind of doesn't make a ton of sense to me.
A critical observation.
But it's not good. And when they changed the map, it's probably my last straw with Warzone maps as a whole. Unless they bring back Verdansk, and Verdansk actually plays like it was before, like perfectly to a T. But I still have my doubts about that too. But then I think everybody gave up after Modern Warfare 3. They realized 3 games in a row the games were awful, even if technically the best of the 3 was the newest one. And then they were like, with Warzone, Vanguard kind of killed Warzone because it brought out Caldera, which was the beginning of the end. Even if Caldera we look at worse than we probably should, because it's far better than what we've gotten since, but it's just not as good as what Vanguard was. Or Verdansk, not Vanguard. Verdansk was. And then you look at now, and I think the player base is just fed up. So I think BO6 was last straw. I think there's a lot of people who, probably the most amount of people ever, who didn't buy their yearly game of Call of Duty because they just don't trust the developers of these games anymore. And I know a lot of people want to blame Activision because it's like Treyarch games technically have been quite good. It's like, I kind of agree. Treyarch, Sledgehammer, these games have been pretty good historically. They've not missed nearly as much as Activision. But they still haven't been perfect. They still have also lessened in quality. Like, their best game came out over a decade ago, so it's like, maybe calm down a tad bit with it. But it is, I still think, if anybody's watching this now is still just like, I don't trust it, I'd say give it a chance. It's still not perfect, but I feel like it's way closer to Cold War than it is to, like, Modern Warfare 2. You're getting further from the F tier games, closer to, like, the B tier games. And so that leads us to now. I know I've kind of rambled a lot, and this is probably way longer than I really needed it to be. But that's just kind of how I am when if I don't like script something, I just ramble. But right now, I think Call of Duty is in a high leverage potential, like fluctuating state. I think if they fix the game the way that they can pretty easily, I think the game has potential. Because I think if you look at the zombies, all zombies you need to do is you need to maybe balance out weapons, balance out stuff like that, and you need to focus on making content. Yes, it'd be great if you made really good banger after banger zombies map, but if you just put out average zombies map, an average zombie map every season, I think you're just gonna be successful with zombies. If you do decide, oh, we're gonna make only 4 maps in an entire zombie cycle, in any one of those 4 maps is even below average, you're already gonna shoot yourself in the foot. Because, like, you have the ability to just reuse maps. And you don't, I feel like they don't do that enough anymore. And I get it's like, oh, you can't reuse maps all the time, but it's like, you can. If you put, it's a different engine. If you remade Zombies Chronicles, and you put the exact maps that were, you don't even make Zombies Chronicles 2. You just make a remake of Zombies Chronicles 1, where you put the exact same maps that are in Zombies Chronicles 1 in this game on the new engine. I don't know why the stick drift keeps doing that. It's kind of stupid. But if you do that, you're just on the new engine, on the new playstyle, with zombies camos as a new addition. You're doing so many things that a lot of people are just gonna like and love and play. And I don't think the Zombies Chronicles will ever be a thing again, unless they want to make Zombies Chronicles its own like game. Because I don't think they would ever release like that many map thing for free. Like, I feel like that if they're gonna do a whole bunch of remakes, they'll probably add them in as just extra content. Can you show your crit? But it's still, I feel like it would be great and everybody would. But that's the main focus of zombies, is that they have the zombies camos down, the zombies camo grind down so well. They just need to make the grind fun by adding zombies maps. Because the thing with zombies is the zombies camo grind is very replayable until I stop wanting to. Because eventually I'm going to get all the zombies camos, or I'm going to get to a point where I'm bored of it. So what you have to do is you have to put out new maps so that I can be like, I want to play this map, I want to do this Easter egg, all this stuff. So, what am I going to do so I can access it? Oh, I'm a zombies camo, so I'm going to replay a lot on the new map. That's what you need to do. You just need to make content. And yes, if you put out bad maps, that's probably not a good idea. I still am a firm believer that a bad map is better than no map, but you're gonna have to, and I mean have to, put out at least 6 maps. At least 6. And that's on the light side. If you put out any less, you're probably gonna set yourself up for fans being disappointed in your zombies. And I feel like they're already starting. There's already 2 maps. I think this is the first game in a while where they started with 2 maps. I don't know if they started. I don't think they started with 2 on Vanguard. Because they might have, but I don't think they did. And they didn't on Cold War because they started with just D Machina. They started with 2 maps on here. They're gonna release a third map mid-season the first season. So by season 1, they're gonna already have 3 maps. I need at least 6, meaning they need 3 more in a year's time, which would still be on the light side. I think you can get 5 more. Now, I'm not saying they have to do 5 more for it to be or it's a disappointment, but they still, I think, at least 6. Not 6 more, just 6 total. I have no idea where that came from. And it's looking good. Now, for the multiplayer has some issues because it has some of really, really bad maps. But once they get a few remakes in there, like they do every year, and then they add a few maps that are just good maps, I think you're probably going to do well. And since they already got Nuketown, they got the radioactive Nuketown too. Those are good already, so you already got a good place there. If they first of all, they obviously need to balance the guns, because for some reason SMGs are a trillion times better than everything else, and they just have gotten the gun balancing awful, because you just got all of the SMGs are ridiculously good, and then you got the AEK, which is one bursting people, and then you try to use an AR and you're getting outshot by everything else. So it's like their gun balancing is in a rough spot right now, but that's easily fixable. And they need to fix the SBMM a bit. It needs to not be so extreme. It needs to put you in matches and slightly adjust to how you play. It doesn't need to fully adjust to how you play. It needs to slightly adjust to how you play, which I think is its main issue right now, is it fully adjusts. Like, if you're playing good, you're in good matches. It doesn't matter if you yourself are good, like, consistently all the time. It just matters how you're playing right now, which is its main issue.
Goodness me, it's all go round here.
So, once you fix the SBMM, and then you fix spawns on, like, Nuketown, and then add in a few good maps, you're gonna have a good multiplayer that I think is comparable to Cold War, which was, I think, the last time we got a B tier or higher multiplayer. So zombies just need content. Multiplayer just needs balancing and a few tweaks here or there. Now Warzone is the big thing, because obviously Warzone at its peak is going to be bigger than everything else by a lot if they do it properly, because it's a free game, it's a battle royale, they're huge, and they have the potential, because they already get a good base in Black Ops guns and just this game in general. First of all, I think I kind of like it, but I think they probably should have just done BO6 guns and reset Warzone completely. I kind of understand why they didn't. But I do think I think it would have been cool if they would have just done, like, a Blackout sequel. And instead of it being an actual Blackout sequel where it's like Blackout, that it would just be it would literally just be Warzone, but called something different. Just use the same shit. What was it? It was Hipfire and Napalm, so I'm already doing it. But they're not going to do that, and they got the MW2 and 3 guns in there, which I think can be good in the long run. Right now, the gun balancing in Warzone's not that good either, so that's rough already. So, but my thing is, if the new map is even average, so if it's called Dare level, I would say you're already going to drag in a few people, a decent bit of people. I think with Verdansk coming back as well, that's going to bring in new people the way Fortnite did it, in which Fortnite killed itself because they got rid of it, which they shouldn't have. They should have just literally kept the old map in the old style, but they did a huge update after that and it killed it. So you got all that stuff. Once you bring all that, you're going to be good. The biggest problem, the #1 issue in Call of Duty Warzone, I don't know if it's a thing a lot of people are noticing, but it's huge right now, and I feel like not many people are talking about it. There is a rampant cheating problem. The cheating problem on Warzone right now might be rivaling peak Verdansk at the end of Verdansk, when everybody was like, this is the worst game ever because you literally can't play without a cheater being in your lobby. So they made Caldera and they made Ricochet, and it didn't. It worked a little bit, but not nearly as much as it should have. I don't know what they need to do, but they need to do something. Because I don't know how the cheating problem in Warzone is so just 10 times like worse than every other game like that ever. Like, there's been cheaters in Fortnite, Apex, like games like that. There's been cheating problems. But the cheating problems, they don't touch Call of Duty Warzone level cheating problems. And it's kind of ridiculous. I'm supposed to be hip firing. Me el stupid.
Extraction bird in your AO. Limited time.
But that's that. Once they fix the cheating problem, I think we're all probably just going to sit here and be like, that makes sense. Oh, this game's actually good now. Oh, there's so much to it. I'm probably going to cook myself by doing this because I probably should just not, and probably should just save quit. And I don't know how to exfil. I'm not actually exfil in this game yet.
I've spoken to the group, and we're all agreed. Can we get the fuck
We got
out
you
of
down.
Okay.
here?
Hang tight.
Oh, that makes sense. Maybe I have exfil. I might have exfil. Definitely just took the worst path possible. Oh.
Alpha team, clear up the LZ or evac ain't happening. Extraction point instructions.
Decoy throw.
Seconds on the clock. Move it.
Lock in a bit.
Might as well go down in flames. Or is that? Could you
Last
do
call.
a bit
This
more?
will wait.
I'm definitely not getting this, by the way.
Hats off to me, and heads up to you.
No. Oh yeah, not by like a lot. If I knew where it was, I probably would have easily gotten it, but I didn't. So we're chilling. It doesn't really matter, let's be honest. But yeah, that's kind of my whole thing. I guess I know I rambled way too much, especially about my channel stuff, because I repeated the same thing a lot. But point is, BO6 multiplayer is some gun balancing away and good maps from being at least just good. I think it still has potential to be a great multiplayer in long-term schemes things, but we'll see. The zombies right now is really good. It's the best potential, I think, for zombies since BO3 zombies. Well, not potential. It has the potential. Well, yeah. I think yes, it has the potential to be. It doesn't have the most potential. I think Cold War had more potential at the beginning. They just fucked it with not giving enough content. But ignore that. Warzone is the big thing, obviously. If they can hit on the maps, huge. If they can balance the guns, like make it to where the BO6 guns are better than the other guns, plus for at least the beginning, and make it to where almost everything is viable. Like, the ARs are the most viable thing from mid-range. The snipers, marksman rifles are the most viable thing from long to mid-range. And the SMG is the most viable thing from close range. They need to do that. They're not doing that very well right now, and that's the only thing. And then they need to fix the cheaters. If there's no cheaters, the current Warzone, as it is, as I played with Area 99 and Urziksand, if there were 0 cheaters, it would be probably B tier. It would be rivaling Peak Caldera, or not Peak Caldera. I would say average Caldera. Peak Caldera, where it was like a very small niche where they got everything fixed before they added in more stupid guns and didn't balance properly. And there was some pretty good times on Caldera. But it's rivaling that. Urzikstan still sucks. It's not a good map, but it's not as bad as it could be. In Area 99, I think is rivaling Rebirth. I feel like people are going to hate that take a lot. But I'm not going to lie. I'm fucking with the map. It's kind of great. So, there's that. And I'm hoping they do the things that I want. If anything, the thing I'm willing to sacrifice the most is the multiplayer. I think the thing that is most likely to be sacrificed is the zombies, and I think the thing that's probably going to be the hardest and most likely for them to not be able to fix is Warzone. Because, like, zombies, they don't need fixing. Again, content. And I feel like if they sacrifice anything, it's probably going to be the amount of content they give the zombies. It's what they did. It's what they did to Cold War. Is they just didn't put enough content in the zombies. That's where it fell off the hardest. And then multiplayer, again, doesn't need a ton of content. Obviously guns, but that's content across the whole board. It just needs a couple good maps. You literally add 4 maps to this game, the entire life cycle, and all 4 are remakes of decent maps from the past. You're literally doing good. Obviously, they're not going to do that. They're going to add more. And I don't want them to just have 4 maps. So I'm saying that they could do that, and then multiplayer would be good. And then obviously gun balancing. Once they get gun balancing down, I think it pops the BO6 multiplayer from like a C tier. I would say mid C because sometimes it's a high B, but sometimes it's like an F, depending on how SBMM screws you and what the enemy team, if all the enemy team is running is Tonto AEK. But it's C tier right now. I think you gun balance properly, it pops up to a B tier. You get good maps in there and you fix SBMM. It has so much potential to be an A tier. But we'll see. And then Warzone, I feel like it's the hardest one to fix because there's a lot they have to do. They haven't figured out an anti-cheat properly, so there's that. And gun balancing in Warzone has always been rough, and they've not made good new maps ever. They've literally decreased in quality of their big map, except for all Monster to Urzikstan, but it's not like they made a huge jump in quality there either. So that's going to be the hardest for them to fix, but it is the most potential, and I think will probably get a lot of focus. And I'm hoping it does, because I hope this game is good, because so far, this is my best COD in the last 4 years, by quite a bit. I know I rambled a lot. I hope people stuck around, because I probably should have talked about the Call of Duty first, and then the channel second, because more people are going to care about the Call of Duty stuff. But it is what it is. Hope you enjoyed. Like, comment, subscribe. And just have a fantastic day, everybody. Because I know my content's not high quality, and a lot of the time it's going to be me talking, or it's going to be me doing nothing, playing, making jokes, shit like that. But it is what it is. Have a good rest of your fantastic life, and see you all next time.